Hello, my name is Jack Heisel, and today I will be demoing the update to the ADCS MetaModule to add support for ESC 9, 10, and 16. So we're going to start by creating a new project. We're just going to name it ADCS. We're going to type in network range of our domain controller. We're going to create. Then over on the left-hand side, we're going to select MetaModules. We're going to go into ADCS workflows and click launch. Then we're going to put in the domain we're going to target. We are going to specify a specific IP address for the domain controller. And in this specific scenario, the certificate authority exists on the domain controller. And we're going to input its name here. And its IP address. Sorry about that. That was a misclick. We're going to input the credentials that we're going to use to exploit. We're going to talk about user 1 and what specific privileges it has and what specific privileges allow user 1 to exploit ESC 9, 10, and 16. And we are going to select all of the misconfiguration abuse techniques. Then we're going to click launch, and we're going to see the MetaModule automate the entire exploitation path. So ESC 9, 10, and 16 are similar certificate misconfiguration abuse techniques. They involve having credentials of user 1 who has generic write privileges over another user, we'll call it user 2. So this allows an attacker as user 1 to update either the user principal name or DNS host name attribute of user 2. So in order to update the attribute, we need to authenticate via LDAP, which is the unique requirement compared to the other ESC techniques, and that's why they're separated and into a module called ESC Update LDAP Object, which combines the attribute update via LDAP and the certificate issuance processes all in one module. And so if the ADCS server is configured to allow weak certificate mappings, when a user is requesting a certificate, then the server will check the user principal name or the DNS host name of the requesting identity and then issue a certificate based on that value. Therefore, if we can update user 2's user principal name to administrator and then request a certificate on behalf of user 2, we can get an administrator certificate, which allows for privilege escalation. So that's the essence of both ESC 9, 10, and 16. The differences between them are mainly the registry keys, which allow for weak certificate mapping to be exploited in each scenario. So now that the module has completed, if we scroll up, we can see what it was actually doing while it was running. There's 5 steps to the ADCS module. Step 1, it queries the domain controller. It gets all the necessary information needed to exploit this attack workflow. Next, it runs the LDAP ESC vulnerable cert finder, and it gathers all the different certificate templates available from the certificate authority and determines which ones might be vulnerable. And then step 3, it begins the exploitation process. It starts to call the ESC Update LDAP Object module on the vulnerable certificates. It runs, and once it gathers a bunch of certificates, it then tries to issue Kerberos tickets for these certificates that it has gathered, and then it builds a report. And so if we go over to the statistics tab here, we can see that we targeted 1 certificate authority. We found 43 certificate templates, and there were 17 successful attempts to issue a Kerberos ticket as the administrator user. So each row here represents a different Kerberos ticket that we can use to authenticate as the domain administrator. Pretty awesome. Thanks for listening.